everybody, this is Jenny C. Back here again to talk about The Flash, because I usually talk about Teen Wolf all the time, but today I'm going to do the much promised The Flash review of episodes 6 through 12. Yeah, 6 through 12. I have a lot to say about it, because the show has a lot of great things going for it, but there's still a couple of things that's really beginning to piss me off. So we'll go straight into doing those in a little bit. First of all, I want to start off with what I liked. First things first, I really love the team dynamics. They're basically the highlight of the show. I love it. I just love all the sort of the friendships that are there, between Barry and Caitlin, between Cisco and Caitlin, between Barry and Wells. You see such a great relationship between all of these people. They have really great chemistry together. They really I haven't seen a cast with that much chemistry in a long time. So I really like what they're doing with that and their relations to each other. I actually got introduced to Hartley because I was looking through AO3 wondering who the hell was Hartley, and I actually got introduced to Hartley, and I was surprised, boggled that Hartley was openly gay. I mean, to me, Hartley and the gay captain, I forgot what his name is, and what they're doing on Arrow is basically whooping what Marvel's doing on that front. Because as much as I love Marvel, and although I've recently, in the last maybe year or so, I've had issues with Marvel about their sort of the way that they portray women, the way that people of color are treated. Lately, for the most part, for the last 5 years, they've been doing outstanding work when it comes to women and people of color. So, but the one thing that's been a constant, I think Coda Wolf was talking about it last year, that Marvel doesn't have any gay people, especially Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. when they had Victoria Hand, who was, I think, openly a lesbian in the comics, and they basically didn't mention that she was a lesbian, didn't mention anything with her sexuality, and then they killed her off kind of quickly. And that was really irritating to a lot of GLBTQ fans, especially me, because there's no indication at all that gay people exist in this world, that they're built, that there's no room for it. I mean, MCU is so heteronormative. It's this reason why the MCU fandom, if you look through the AO3 and you look at through fanfiction.net, that it's so very gay. It's 90% gay and 10% het. And I'm not even kidding you. So it was a breath of fresh air to see a gay person, or gays, period, gays, lesbians, transgender people being seen on television and also being recognized that they do exist in this world that the Arrow and the Flash writers are building. Also, that I've seen the trailer for the Legends of Tomorrow. I'm a little bit leery about it because I am not really an Arrow fan, and I don't know if it's going to be better than Arrow, especially because the Arrow writers have been writing it quite ridiculously. They've been writing awful, I think, the last season, from what I've heard on the Tumblr. But we shall see. I also love that Victor Garber from Alias is on Legends of Tomorrow, which I love because he's an openly gay man, and more gay actors on television I get is awesome, and I get excited every time I see an openly gay actor do well. in media. So I might review it. I don't know, but yeah. Back to, I just love that Hartley's opening day. I also love the chemistry between Hartley and Cisco. I mean, it was blatant. It was like, I mean, it wasn't even subtext. It was main text. They tried to pull it off like it was all about, Dr. Wells and how, Hartley is the favorite son of Dr. Wells. And I'm like, no. It didn't even feel like that to me. It felt very much like they, what it reminds me of? It reminds me of Harry Potter and Draco Malfoy, really, because they had that same sort of like feeling to me. Hartley is very arrogant, very sort of comes from a rich background, very well dressed, and Cisco is like, a Latino geek boy from the wrong side of the tracks. And I just love how they interact with each other. I love that we got to see some badass Cisco, because Cisco for the most part, took Hartley down a couple times in the few episodes that Hartley was there. And I really love how they interact with each other. I love the antagonism, but I can actually see very much that very easily it becoming something romantic. I really love even if it didn't turn out romantic, they just have a really great on-screen chemistry, the actors do, and it really does translate well on screen. That's like one of the few ships that I would probably be rooting for into season 2, probably, because I really, really love Hartley and Cisco, and one of the few OTPs that I will be having, because with The Flash, the thing about Barry is that Barry gets on with everybody so well. He has great chemistry, except for Iris, has great romantic chemistry with everybody, from Caitlin on down. So it's hard to choose which ship to choose with Barry in it. I've never had this difficulty, because I have always been a monogamous OTPer for like ever, but I just having such a hard time choosing a ship and staying with it when it comes to Barry, because he again is so charismatic. Barry continues to be awesome. He continues to be awesome. I love Barry. People say Barry is boring, blah, 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 blah. I very much love Barry more than I love Arrow. I basically to me, Oliver's appearance in the crossover episode was like such a letdown. It was such a chore to watch, because I hate Oliver and he's such an arrogant douche, and I'm like, you could do so much better than hero worshiping Oliver. I just like Barry is 10 times the man that Oliver is, and I just love Barry. I do. I just love everything about him. I love that I have said this again. I love how he tries to do the right thing. I love his adorableness. I love that he's stubborn and he's determined to find the truth. Also, with Iris, I love that her blogging gets her a journalism career, a journalism job. I don't like that the journalism job is necessarily about Flash, but I like the fact that that we got to see her move into her career as a journalist. I really love that story arc where she is faced with someone who is, first of all, her sort of career hero, someone that she's looked up to, who turns out to be a jackass. That was actually the theme of that particular episode, of having your heroes basically having the heroes fail you in some way or disappoint you in some way. and I really loved how Iris faced that. I really loved that episode with her in it. I also like to give a shout out to the guy from One Life to Live. I don't know his name, but I know who I forgot who he played, but I know my dad's into like soap, so I know I'm used to like watching One Life to Live in the periphery. But yeah, I like to give a shout out to that guy. Every time I see someone from the soaps get a job, I like to cheer them on, because moving on up. But back to Iris. I really love her arc with her career, that she's moving up in her career, and I love that. I also love, again, Eddie and Iris's relationship. There's her obsession with the Flash and this whole like love triangle is stupid, but if you take everything away, and leave Iris and Eddie together, they have a really real, authentic, healthy relationship. They really balance each other out, and I really like seeing them together. I really did approve of her moving out and moving in with her boyfriend, because they seem like they're very solid together. They're very solid, and very something that any woman would jump on, because it seems like they have a really healthy relationship. They really get each other, and I just was really like happy about that. Dr. Wells' arc. Taran Canova, who I kind of remember from that show that he did. I can't remember what the name of that show was, but he came from doing sort of almost a sort of comedic role coming into Dr. Wells. He does it so magnificently. I mean, from the way that he smirks, and the way that he walks, and the way he talks, you can tell this man there's something not quite right with him. And then when it was revealed, and I knew that something wasn't right with him, but even when it was revealed that he was the person who murdered Barry's mother, and who is also Barry's comic nemesis, Reverse Flash, I was generally shocked that they did it so well that it could been anybody, but in the end it had to be Wells, and it was really, to me it was really well done. I really loved his arc. It's now kind of dragging on, but the way that we moved our way up to the discovery of Dr. Wells being Reverse Flash, that was an awesome arc, and I really at this point am looking forward to seeing how the revelations, and I hope they don't drag it out all through the season, because the big plot point has been revealed that he is Reverse Flash, and so I really want to know how Dr. Wells being Reverse Flash and Barry's the murder of Barry's mother will affect Barry and affect the team as well, because Cisco and Caitlin have a really close relationship, and they really think the world of Dr. Wells, and I really want to see how everything falls apart, because I know it's going to fall apart, but we still have no idea how everything is going to come together. So I'm really excited to see that. I'm really sort of on the edge of my seat for that. Let's see. Another highlight of the show for me so far is got to be the relationship between Barry and his father. I think his name is Richard Allen, and Barry and Joe. I really love their relationship, the relationship they have with Barry. It's very rarely that you see a really healthy father-son relationship. I got to see in a single show a great father, is not just one, but two great father-son relationships. I love how Barry relates to his father, his biological father, and I also love how he relates to Joe, and how Joe looks out for him, and how they sort of, the chemistry between them on screen and how they relate to each other. You can really feel that relationship in every word and every sort of action from Joe and from Richard, that they're just trying to protect him and try to do right by him. I have some issues with kind of how Joe is protecting him, but I really, really, really love their relationship to their relationship to Barry. And it's also very rare for you to see on television an interracial father-son relationship like that. It's very rare. So for them to go there with Joe, who is black, and Barry, who is white, that is awesome. I also love how Richard just like every episode with Richard in it, because the guy who plays Richard Allen who also played the original Flash in the original television series, just has such a really great chemistry with Barry as well. But you also see that every moment between them is so poignant and so heartbreaking, and just every time that he comes on screen, he just sort of rips my heart out and just thumps on it. And that is a credit to the actor who plays Richard Allen, and I don't know his name. I have him on my Twitter. I just forgot his name. And to Gary Gustin, who plays Barry. Because it's so poignant. I mean, all three actors, the one that plays Joe, the one that plays Barry, the one that plays Richard, are such great actors. And it's also a credit to the writing, because it's just so heartbreaking, especially when all three are together, especially in episode 12 when all three of them are together, and you could just see how much Richard loves Barry and how much Joe loves Barry. And it's just I just love that. I love to see good, healthy familial relationships, and also love to see that on screen, that it's shown that family is not necessarily by blood, and we don't get to see that often on television. So the more I see that, I'm going to just cheer it on and just fangirl over that. Let's see. I also love Linda Park, mostly because I've watched, I think, 4 seasons of Vampire Diaries before it got tedious. And I love the actress that played her, because I don't think she's noticeably Asian, like how Arden Cho is noticeably right off the bat Asian, but the chick that plays her is Asian or biracial. And I love that I loved sort of her relationship in the Vampire Diaries with Elena's brother. I forgot what his name is. And I really felt like her character and Pearl, who was her mother, was the only two vampires and two characters that really had some damn sense on that show. And I was really angry that they killed her off. So I'm more than happy to see the actress that played Pearl's daughter, who I can't remember her name. I cannot remember her name for nothing. Her appear on another show. I'm really just happy to see her face, because we need more biracial actors out there. Thank you. But even if she wasn't being played by the actress from the Vampire Diaries, her character is awesome. She's perky, and she's not perky, but she has a really great sense of humor, and she's really, she really has great chemistry with Barry, because Barry has great chemistry with almost everybody on that show except for Iris. And the way they relate each other in that first couple scenes, and I'm just really happy to see Barry finally sort of heeding his father's advice and everybody else's advice and moving on, because Iris is in a very committed relationship, and it's kind of shady that he's giving her wedding, her mother's, a replica of her mother's wedding ring. She's in a committed relationship. She's been in a relationship for over a year, and for him to do that, it's it's almost a disrespect to not only her, but to Iris's and Eddie's relationship, and it's just creepy. So I'm just glad that he's sort of undoing or finally moving on and going to a much happier place with Linda. I have some issues with Iris in the Linda Berry situation and her actions, because I've already been kind of spoiled and I kind of know what's coming, and I'm not really happy with what's about to come, and so I'm going to talk about that too later on. Let's see. Also, I think the Linda episode when she appeared, I think it's 12 that she appeared, or 12 or episode 11. I loved that, again, that Barry is allowed to have female friends. Even if, Snowberry never becomes a thing. I love that he's allowed to have female friends, because that's rare. That a man and a woman, a man and a woman are friends without the sort of sexual hang-ups that are happening. I mean, yeah, he kind of looked at her like Caitlyn in that episode. He kind of looked at her in that dress, because that dress was hot. Not as hot as Felicity's dress earlier on in the episode, but still, it was hot. And he looked at her, because I was looking at her, but he was like, other than that, he didn't, try to come on to her. They were allowed to be friends in that episode. And I love that a man and a woman are friends on television. We need more of that. I'm going to take a pause for a second. And I'm going to go into the dislikes. Because as much as I'm loving a good portion of what The Flash is doing this season, there's a lot of shit that is really awful and really pisses me off and really infuriates me. At the top of the list, as always, and I'm gonna get shit from WestAllen fans. I'm going to just tell you right now, I'm not a WestAllen fan. I had never been a WestAllen fan. I'm a black woman, as you can see. And I support Iris as a character. I do not support Iris and Barry together. I will give you the reason why in a little bit. So if you have issues with someone not liking what you like, please do yourself a favor, WestAllen fans, and just back out of this video. Go push the back button, keep on rolling. And that's all I'm saying. But if you're an open person who's open-minded, who can actually listen to someone has to say, and someone else can, and you actually can be an adult and realize that other people don't always like what you like, and accept that, and come on in. But again, the biggest thing on the list is the WestAllen thing. I wouldn't have such an issue with WestAllen, with Iris and Barry being together, if it was written well from the get-go. It is not being written well, and it shows in everything, because they have to force every scene to be about WestAllen or about the triangle. It's not been written well. I've seen well-written canon romances. I would say, if you want really sort of best friend, female relationship that sort of grows into being something more that's awesome, Pepper Potts and Tony Stark. I am a Stony Shepherd to my soul, but I support them canonly because it was written well. They didn't automatically get together. It wasn't forced. They had really great chemistry together, and it was written well. Compared to WestAllen, it is not being written well. It's actually a disservice to the fans, because it's not being written well, and it's like the writers expect us to take what they're saying, what they're telling us, and at face value, and not look at what they're showing us and not seeing that it's two different separate things. I mean, they're forcing WestAllen into scenes that have nothing to do with WestAllen. I was really pissed, and I think it was after episode 6 when Richard was telling Barry that, telling something about they were having a really emotional moment, and somehow they start mentioning Iris, and I'm like, and his feelings for Iris, I'm like, she has no business in this scene, period, yet you're forcing her into the scene. Stop forcing her into every scene, or to every other scene. That's one of the things I like about the last several episodes, that they didn't do that. Like Lois and Clark from Lois and Clark, I don't even think you guys probably know. Lois and Clark from also Smallville was written very well, but also Lois and Clark from Legends of Superman, Lois and Clark: The Adventures of Superman, they writ that relationship so well. By the time they did get together, I was more than ready for them to get together. It's not the same thing with WestAllen, because they cannot write romance. They cannot write the writers cannot write romance or UST to save their asses. Not intentionally. Now, the Hartley Cisco thing is slashy as hell, but I don't think they intentionally wrote it like that. I think it just came out that way, especially because of the actors and how their repertoire between each other. But this WestAllen thing is ridiculous, and now they're making it into sort of a love square instead of a love triangle, and I'm like, nobody likes that. A good portion of people, a good majority of people, do not like love triangles because it's forced drama. Even the actress, at some point, I saw a gift set on Tumblr, and she was saying, I want Iris to choose a man and stick with one. And I'm like, yes, please. Also, more than anything else, I want Barry, as much as I love Barry, and I do, you know I do, I want Barry to realize that she is with somebody else. She doesn't have feelings for you, or they're going to try to make it where her feelings are starting to evolve. But I wanted him from the get-go to realize, you know, she means that she doesn't feel that way for you, so you have to sort of put your big boy pants on and move on. Stop trying to seduce her as the Flash. He's doing that Superman thing where he'll dress up in his costume and they'll have secret meetings, and he'll try to win her over to her side and try to help her with her career. The same thing they do with they did it in Superman. They did it, I think they did it in Batman. It's just ridiculous. It's also, to me, instead of letting Iris being awesome by herself and being an awesome character by herself without sort of a romantic entanglement, they are trying to so hard make Iris Lois Lane to Barry's Lois Lane to Iris's Clark Kent. It's ridiculous. Stop doing. DC has it bad. There could only be one Lois Lane for one very good reason, because she is awesome and she doesn't need any sort of like copycats. There's more. You could easily write another female character that isn't Lois Lane. I don't understand why. I understand why they made her a journalism major. I just don't understand that. I know because it's supposed to be like conflict, but it feels like very much they're using her journalism major to be a vehicle to make her Lois Lane, and that's not cool at all. It just they refuse to let Iris be awesome by herself. It's all about Iris is basically being put to the point to where she is the love interest. She is the prize to be won, and it's sexist as hell. Let's see. Let's see. Oh my God. Let's talk about Joe, because I love Joe. Joe's one of my favorites. He's from Law and Order. The actor was originally from Law and Order, and I have my special place in my heart from all the Law and Order alumni. And I also love his character because you can see how much he cares. But I have issues the way that he cares. He needs to stop hiding everything from everybody. He's hiding from Iris that Barry is the Flash unnecessarily. He's also hiding from Barry that he suspects that Dr. Wells is not on the up and up. Why were you hiding so much stuff? Why are you lying? I don't like unnecessary lying because it's stupid and it's contrived. I mean, sorry, it just means it just feels stupid. I mean, he's been lying, and Joe particularly has this bad that he's lying off and on throughout the series, throughout the season, and it's ridiculous and it was stupid. I still think that him hiding all of that Flash stuff from Iris was retarded, and it was just, not retarded, was stupid. I also think that I'm just frustrated, because I think it's kind of forced, and it's kind of stupid, and it's a real bad character flaw for Joe, and it's just like, it aggravates. I have the same issue with Teen Wolf that I have with this. I don't like unnecessary lying. So I'm gonna just leave it at that. Let's talk about them cribbing from other superhero canons. They have that shit bad. Oh my god, the biggest canon that they are cribbing from lately is X-Men, and I'm like, as an X-Men fan, I am really offended. I'm like, stop. Oh my god, stop. Just Jesus. I didn't pick it up at first, and I should have picked it up immediately. The wheelchair bound mentor. Yeah. Don't that stink of Professor Xavier? Yes, it does. It's just like, oh my god, they're just so cribbing from X-Men lately, and I'm like, just stop, just leave it alone. Stop cribbing from other people's superhero canons. It's just because I'm like, again, it stinks of being unoriginal. You're not unoriginal to sort of take from, because the Flash again has a long history of comic canon of just being by himself. How hard is it for you to look through the list of his foes and come up with something, or just make up something? The girl, what's her name, Shauna, was such a ripoff of Nightcrawler. Yes, it was. I was like, I'm all for a woman of color being awesome, and I didn't like how they did her in the end, because her only real sort of crime was that she was loving a wrong person. I think, honestly, that she could have been redeemed. I don't understand why they had to lock her up that way. But yeah, let's go back to the Nightcrawler thing. It was such a cribbing off a Nightcrawler. And I'm like, why are you continuing to cribbing from other superhero canons? I mean, they cribbed off the Hulk at this point. They cribbed off the X-Men. They cribbed off of Superman. Arrow's cribbing off of Batman hard. I'm just like, stop doing it and just make up your own shit. Jesus. I already talked about that. Overall, you know what? Before I go into my overall thoughts, one more thing. The whole Reverse Flash story arc. I really loved the first half of it so far. It was really well done. I really loved it. I kind of knew that Dr. Wells was shady, but I didn't know to the extent he was shady. It was such a surprise to see him, that he was really that evil. And I love how they sort of made Dr. Wells very three-dimensional, very kind of person. He's just not evil for evil's sake. I really love that. He's a really great villain so far. I also love that we didn't know exactly what that we kind of thought at first that he was on our side until the very end of episode 1, and then we kind of slowly realized how devious and how evil he is, and I love that arc. I do not like how it's dragging on now, because I think they revealed the Reverse Flash. They revealed the identity of Reverse Flash too soon. They should have stretched it out throughout the season and had that be the big reveal at the end. But right now, since they've revealed it, it feels to me like it's dragging now, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not really happy with that. Cause I'm at the point where I really want to see the big reveal to Barry, and I really want to see how the team is going to explode on itself. And it feels like it's going to have to be that now that it's been revealed now that Reverse Flash has been revealed, it feels like it's going to just drag for the rest of the episode. So I do really feel like that it was a good storyline to begin with, but it's just they revealed Reverse Flash's identity way too soon. Overall, it's still a really good series. Not the best series I've seen, but way better than Teen Wolf. Really good series. It has real diversity, has real potential. I forgot about Iris. I forgot about Iris, and I have to go back to my overall thoughts later. But one thing, Iris. I said that they were making her into Lois Lane, but I also don't like the way that they're evolving her feelings towards Barry. There should have been, someone said that, they were showing the evolution of her feelings from the beginning, some guy on Twitter. And I'm like, no. It was obvious from the get-go that she didn't really see Barry in that way at all. Yet, all of a sudden, out of the blue, once he's getting with another girl, she's like, oh, I have feelings for this person. That feels really out of the blue, because there was no sort of build-up into her, there was no eye fucking, no real UST, no long stares on her part. There's ways in an actress that you show that her feelings are evolving. It's also as an acting fail, but it's also a writing fail. And I'm like, no. It feels to me like her feelings just came out of the blue the moment she realized that Barry wasn't slapping over her like a dog anymore. And it just feels, it's just cheapening Iris's character, definitely. This whole WestAllen thing is cheapening Iris's character. I just but back to my overall thoughts. Again, really great show. Not the best superhero show I've seen. It will never compare to me as great as Lois and Clark. I'm not even going to talk about Smallville, because Smallville started out so great the first 5 seasons and then went. But yeah, it's not as great as Smallville. It's not as great as Lois and Clark: The New Adventures of Superman. But it's so much better than Arrow. So much better than Arrow. And it's still falling for the same pitfalls that Arrow is falling for right now. But it's such a really great show. I'm really excited to see what all the storylines will end up at the end of the season. What will happen to the storylines at the end of the season. How the team will deal with a whole lot of betrayal and a whole lot of stuff that's going to come out. The only thing I'm not looking forward to is the WestAllen resolution. Really, I'm not looking forward to it. That's it. I will be doing the Gotham review sometime this week, I think. Hopefully. Also, we'll be reviewing the Deadpool. Yes! The Deadpool trailers, which was everything that I ever wanted. with a Deadpool movie. And so I will be reviewing that, probably not by video, but probably by paper or by text. I'll be giving a text review of that. What else? What else is it for this week? I think that's it. I'll also will be very soon, in the next maybe couple of weeks, releasing a list of what I will be reviewing this season, because I'm only one person. I don't have a staff of people, so I only have so much time to watch television at all. So I will be giving you a list of that. I think that's it. So thank you guys for watching. And I hope to see you guys again sometime. Bye.